Hey everybody, today I want to share and answer a question that I get a lot, which is, Diego, how did you get started investing in real estate at a young age, and how have you been able to buy more properties? So at the age of 23, I bought my first property, and now by the age of 27, fast forward 4 years later, I own a total of 8 rental properties that give me a passive income of like 4 to 5 grand a month. Now, I started with a strategy called house hacking. And I believe that if you're a millennial, this is the perfect way for you to get started, just how I did it. So, house hacking is basically you buying a single family home, a home that has 3 or 4 bedrooms, or buying a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, more like a multifamily. And if you buy a multifamily, you can live on one side while you rent out the other sides, and you have that, and you have your tenants pay for your mortgage. The similar way that if I buy a single family home, I can live with 3 roommates, and the payment that they give me every month to live in my house, it covers my mortgage. So that's what I did when I was 24. I bought a home here in Austin, Texas, and I lived in the master bedroom, and I had my 3 roommates paying for my mortgage payment. And what's cool is that I even had some extra income that covered my car payment. So since I've been 24, I haven't had to pay a mortgage payment or a car payment from my pocket. But a lot of people think that this is super hard, or they can't get started, or they even ask me, Diego, how did you have the mentality to get started? So what I would share is this. When I was younger, I looked at my finances, and I saw that about 30% of my expenses were going to go towards my housing expenses. And I was like, that's a lot. So how can I minimize that, or like take that away? And that was one of the things that I did. I realized that by house hacking, I could invest a little bit of money, but then I didn't have to worry about my mortgage payment or worry about living expenses. Because when you don't have to worry about living expenses, and you basically feel a little bit more free, because you have more spending money from what you do at your work or your job or your business, whatever you have, right? So the benefits of house hacking is that you can buy a home by putting low money down. So that's number one. What's good is you can buy a home putting 3% down, 3.5%, or even zero money down in some cases if you're buying with either a VA loan or a USDA loan. A lot of millennials still think that you need 20% down to buy a property, but really you only need 3% or 5% down. So as an example, when I bought my property for 170K, the cash out of my pocket was around 8 grand, 6 or 8 grand. And since then though, I used that income, but I was living for free. And then if you compare that with other people my age that are paying $1,000 a month on their apartment, I have an extra like $12,000 or $14,000 a year. And the best part too is that not only did I keep that money, but I use it to invest it again in another property, because you can buy a home with an owner-occupant loan once a year or once every 2 years. So that's why I think that house hacking is the best strategy, and for me it set the foundation for me to have the freedom to do a lot of things that I wanted, to travel more because I had the extra spending money, and I also had the opportunity to continue investing in personal development events, but also in more things that will make my money work for me. And now I'm looking at other types of properties, other partnerships, and other people have learned from me. So here in Austin, fortunately, I've been able to help around 7 or 10 people go through the house hacking process here. As you guys know, I'm a realtor here, so I've been able to get the experience in knowing that what properties look best to do a house hack, and how you can get started. At some point I was managing four house hacks in a sense, and it was working out great. So I've also helped people outside of Austin, in Florida. I've helped people in California answering questions, stuff like that. And I've actually put together a Facebook group for house hackers, so for future house hackers, people that want to learn how to invest in real estate, learn about personal development too, and just make sure that they crush their 2018 goals. So if you want to be part of that group, right now we have around 150 people, and it's awesome. And I am there sharing a lot of content, a lot of videos, asking them how you can find find good roommates, find the right realtor in your area, find the right property, stuff like that. And I also have created a case study. I studied a guide, a house hacking guide, so that you guys can read it, learn from it, and look at what works, what doesn't work with house hacking. And it's something that that I wrote that gives you a lot of my knowledge in that area, and also gives you a case study of my first property, so that you guys can see the numbers, how it breaks down, how I found the roommates, and how everything has worked from there to put me in the position where I can buy another one in the years to come and make my money work for me. Right at the end of the year, at the end of this, you know that sometimes it does take a little bit of sacrifice, but you reap the rewards later, and understand that it is not a sprint, but it is a marathon. So just understand that that house hacking will not make you rich in the first couple of months that you're doing it, on the first year. But if you compare somebody that didn't house hack at the age of, let's say, from in their 20s, to somebody that has house hacked in their 20s, their lives will be completely different. So if you have any questions about house hacking, you can go to househackingclub.com, or you can also send me a message or just comment below, and I'll be more than happy to share any more tips, any more questions. But remember that you can buy a home with less than $10,000, and I can even help you find the right realtor that works for you. All right, guys, take care.